Hey everyone, my name is Matthew Wong, and I'm very excited today to show you this thing called Raw Strings. Raw Strings is a really new string library that just came out a little while ago, I think a couple weeks. And yeah, I've been super impressed with it, as it's a very textural string library, and I haven't found anything that does quite what this does. So I'm just going to start off by going through a couple presets and just play around so you can hear how it sounds. Nice little pad thing going on. Let's go to Vanishing Pavilions. Cool. And then I'm just going to switch it back to, I think, the default init preset. So the idea with this string library is you actually have 4 different layers you can manipulate. So I'm just going to start with layer 1, and we'll just try out a couple different sounds for that layer. So by default, it's set to vibrato close, which sounds like this. Flautando. Finger tremolo. Staggered swell. Some pizzicato trems. With natural tuning, which is a little more out of tune. And it's nice that a lot of these sounds you can pick between kind of loop on their own. And now a big section of the sounds for raw strings are these strings recorded to tape. So you can see there's 0.5 IPS tape, and then the 3, 5, and then we get reverse sounds, we get reverse tape sounds, and then extra stuff. So let me just play a couple of these tape sounds, and I'll just move around a bit. Reverse tape. And then these extra sounds. I really like this keyboard, actually, which has a really cool looping feature in it. So I'm just going to play a G major chord. And you'll hear that it loops over time. I just really love that sound. We have reversed versions of it here too. Vinyl tape noises. Reversed jangles. Sounds like keys and things like that. Water. These singing bowls. Very nice. Foliage. Yeah, so a lot of this is kind of for lack of a better word, kind of Foley like. Now the great thing is that we have all those different sounds you can pick, but then I can enable layer 2 and I can add an extra articulation over it. And I should probably take a moment to kind of state something that might not be so apparent. I mean, this is really a textural library, so if you are looking to buy a string library for a majority of your orchestral scoring needs, this may not be the best one because there aren't a lot of articulations that are very useful. I mean, there's no legato patches, there's no staccato or spiccato patches, I think, in here, but it's really useful for just adding string textures and creating some extra realism to your productions and to your scoring projects. So let's go and layer the piano just with the standard vibrato close. That's already a pretty interesting sound. And then I'm going to enable layer 3. It's set to drift right now. I kind of want to hear what that sounds like. Or actually, I'll set it back to the eucalyptus burst that I really liked. And then layer 4, why not? Definitely don't need to layer 4 separate, articulations or 4 separate layers, but it's there, so let's see what happens. And I'll say the eucalyptus sound is a little loud, so we actually have volume control, we have panning, we have a filter cutoff, and we have tuning here. So I want to try just taking the eucalyptus down a hair, and I'll try actually going up here to the top right and taking the pitch of the vibrato up an octave. And also down quite a bit now. So I love this patch as is. I'd probably even save it right now, to be honest. But I do want to try to go on and show some other features here. So as much as I love the sound, I love that there's this dice button right here. So you can actually randomize all the layers at once. So if I hit that, now every layer is changed. I've lost that patch I made. I'm an idiot for not saving it. But hey, that's how it goes sometimes. And maybe this one would be way cooler immediately. So this is what this sounds like. Nope, don't like it. I'm gonna hit the dice again. A lot more interesting immediately. Now, at this point, I might want to add some effects, like some delay, some reverb. I'll go pretty wet with the reverb on this, and then set it to a hall. Hear the sounds. And something I love about this interface is I can actually click and drag and rearrange the order of effects, which is really, really nice to have. Oh, I actually really like the limiter in here. One thing I will say is some of the patches could have been better normalized. If you switch between them in the stock presets, some are like really loud and then some are pretty quiet. So just a thing to note. I'm sure they can fix that in future updates. But yeah, this is my new sound with just a little bit of effects added. And you can actually add effects to each individual layer, as you can see here with the 1, 2, 3, 4. That corresponds to each of these 1, 2, 3, 4 layers. Last couple things I'll show. You do have control of ADSR. You have control of some other things here in terms of macros that are really powerful. One example is I'll just turn on this destination here to 12 semitones for the pitch bend wheel. And I can actually, now if I pitch bend on the wheel, only affect these two layers. So I'm just going to play one single note, just C, and then I'm going to move the pitch bend wheel on my keyboard up all the way. And you'll hear that layers 3 and 4 actually stay at the same place while the first two layers move up. So it's a pretty useful tool, especially when you layer chords. And something about that sound kind of reminds me of the Digitech whammy. And then you have a lot of layers and things you can do with these macros here in terms of affecting certain parameters. You can pick pretty much anything in terms of effects. Tremolo speed for certain layers. Tremolo depth, vibrato depth. I think that's really useful, actually. Now, I could spend a lot of time talking about that, but I think I'd rather just show off this last really cool feature here, which is the Arpeggiator. And to do that, I'm actually going to turn off the effects of reverb and delay for now. And with this Arpeggiator, so I just turn it on, I play, I don't know, F major chord. I'll just speed real quick. I'm just going to make it a 4-step layer, and I'm going to set the speed. Sorry, it's going to take a sec. Right over here, and you can actually click into 16th notes. And you know what? I'm realizing that this sound is not great because there's not much transient information coming on. So I'm just going to quickly find... actually, I'll switch it back to eucalyptus bursts. And we have this Arpeggiator, super easy to program. But I actually like the sequencer a lot more because the Arpeggiator switches the notes you play within a chord, where the sequencer actually just affects kind of the volume of what's already there, I think, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to put in a little stupid pattern, set to 16th notes, and set the steps down to just 8. And you can actually set up different parts too, which I think is really, really interesting. And I like this idea of being able to, I don't know, maybe I'll just set this to be a simple 32nd note repeat with only 5 steps. And I can switch between part 2 and part 1 pretty seamlessly. Sorry, this isn't the best example. I could do better. I'm just going to use the presets too. And you can see that the presets actually have some really interesting things going on here. So yeah, that's just a little quick run through of one of my new favorite string libraries. I guess the last thing I'll do is just show off one of my favorite sounds that I made in here. Really, really simple. I'm just using the piano. And it's funny because, you know, the thing is called raw strings, but actually my favorite part of it is the piano. Not to say the strings aren't good. It's just that I really, really haven't found a piano that sounds like this. So I was very pleasantly surprised to have it here. And yeah, that's just a little taste of raw strings. Hope you liked this video, and if you did, feel free to go to the website, check out raw strings. And yeah, hope you have a great day, and see you around on some future videos. Have a good one, everyone.